Okay, well, welcome to Everything's Messy podcast. My guest today is going to blow it up. I've got Melissa Vogel with me, host of the Bomb Mom podcast, creator of Busy to Bomb Fit Mom. She's got 20 plus years experience as a fitness expert and certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor, and she has a second degree black belt in Taekwondo. Welcome, Melissa.
Thanks for having me on. I'm so excited to be here.
This is amazing. Okay, let's go back really quick to the Taekwondo. How did you get into that?
Yeah. So I've grown up doing martial arts. Like I did karate as a kid, like all the other girls were doing dance class and I was doing karate and like Seishin Kai. And when we moved out here in California, my girls kept dancing. They were younger and they wanted to do the dance stuff. And then I was teaching kickboxing and, kind of kept up my martial arts and, kids happen and then you get away from your things. And then I don't know, dance just kind of took a funky twist. And I'm like, I'm questioning some things. And I'm like, I'm not sure I like that. And so I talked to my girls. I'm like, what if we start looking into martial arts? Mom did it as a kid and I never wanted to like push them.
Sure.
And I'm like, they do performances too, so it's kind of like dance, but then you're learning how to defend yourself. And they're like, okay. So they started. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to be on the sideline. I want to start taking classes again because the best teachers are those that remain a student. I've always said that and have felt that.
Awesome.
So there were a couple other moms and a couple dads and they're like, let's do it. And we like stayed in the same class and we did it for years. And we're like, we're not stopping until we get our second degree.
That's awesome. Did you have any part where like maybe you got injured or it was like difficult and you went like, I'm not sure that I want to, treat my body that way? Or were you like, no, I am all in, I'm doing this. Who wants to step up and take me on?
I just, as an adult, you're always worried that you're going to like get hurt, or do something. And you have to just be aware of your knees and your joints and everything. I never got like injured, but I had to like stretch really good and warm up. But we started to do a lot of boxing and a lot. And I'm like, oh God, I just don't like the blows to the head, And when they start taking out my legs and I can't kick, and now we're just like punching, I'm like, oh, this isn't my forte. And I'm like, I don't, and I didn't like my kids getting hit in the head a whole lot, I'm like, and we had the headgear, but still, your brain's rattling.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest concern. And that's when we stopped Taekwondo and we moved into jujitsu.
Love that.
So we went from black belts back down to white belts.
Back down to one. So what my son has done jujitsu. I see them, he does the no-gi jujitsu and rolling around, a lot of mat work. What would you say the biggest difference is between jujitsu and taekwondo?
Oh my God, it's like two totally different worlds that I wasn't really prepared for. I mean, I was, because everyone's like, it's not the same. And I'm like, okay, jujitsu is like way harder. In a way, like it really is, because you get into like these positions where you're like, okay, don't panic. Don't panic. Sure. You're not going to die. When like someone's on top of you,
so cold
trying to choke you. And as much as it's like, every time I stepped on the mat, I was afraid. No joke. I was just like, oh my God, okay, here we go. And it's a male dominant sport. So I was out there like wrapping my legs around men, literally, like not being like funny, like, I really was.
You really were.
And it's a lot of trust that your partner's going to take care of you. And, and it's just but I liked it because it made me leave my comfort zone. And how many times in life are you in like this position of like being uncomfortable and you just want to quit or cry?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I'm going to be challenged today. Okay, here we go.
Wow. I just think that's so great. So let's back up a little bit and talk about, you created this program for busy moms where, we're talking on the podcast all the time. We're busy moms. We can't find time. Does that have a messy story behind how that came to be?
Absolutely. My life, like at the time, it was a mess. It truly was. I had my last child. And, I knew all of the things, right? Sure. I knew how to eat. I knew how to work out. I trained people. I transformed lives. And here I was 70 pounds heavier. And that baby weighed like 7 pounds, 8 ounces.
Wow.
It was all me. And I'm like, it still happened to me. And I had like, slowly the weight like comes off and stuff, and breastfeeding helps. But I was in my basement, my breaking moment. I was in my basement because I'm from Michigan. and we had basements at the time. And I'm like, I'm going to do P90X, cause that's a good postpartum thing for a mom to do. And I'm just like, let's do
Famous last words.
P90X. Yeah, why not? He's going to cheer me on. And I was doing a move called mountain climbers, where you're like on your hands and you're running your knees,
yeah, okay, on the
into your
floor.
chest.
Yeah, okay.
Hands on the floor in a plank position, running my knees in. And I felt this feeling on the top of my thighs. And I was just like, what is that? It was my stomach. My stomach was so stretched and big, and let's be real, fat. It had fat in it, that it was hitting the top of my thighs. And that was a foreign feeling to me.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, though, and just say, for those of you that either don't have video or can't see this beautiful woman, there is no way I believe this story at all. She is just so fit and so just tone. There's not an ounce on her that like, so her telling this story is just, it is messy, because that's huge, because what I'm looking at, what I've seen, like, no way, no way.
It's true. It's true. That was my reality. And that moment right there, I just started bawling. That was like my breakdown. I was a mess on the floor. And I was like,
you've got postpartum pregnancy hormones going on, and you've got
milk start flowing.
Yeah. Oh my, really? Oh my
I was like, who am I? How did I become her? And I was like disgusted. And I was like talking to myself in a way and just bringing myself down. And I'm like, does my family see myself like this? Does, my ex-husband now, but does he see me like this? Like, how did I get here? And it was just such a breaking point for me, because I was like, Melissa, you are either going to learn from this and rise and like build, or you're going to be like, this is my life, poor me, and I'm going to stay here. And I was like,
crossroads.
I'm not going to stand here. I am not, no way. This is not where I want to be. This is not who I was dreaming of becoming. And I'm not going to let my kids be my excuse either as to why I can't be fit again. And that was the moment that I changed my nutrition, my mindset, my training. Like, I literally had to forget everything that I thought I knew and start over.
And what did you start over with? Because at this time you were into the personal training and fitness, right? Yeah. So you just started over with like basic nutrition? Did you go on to like paleo, like anything like that? What did you do?
No, it's such a great question, because people think like, well, what does that mean? What does that look like? I was trying to do everything that I did when I was like in my 20s, elliptical, cardio. It's not a workout unless I'm dripping sweat at the end. P90X, I'm like, if I'm not just drenching my sweat out and my shirt, like, that wasn't a workout. I was totally wrong. I was trying to still force myself to do that when the answer was weights and weightlifting. And I had to learn that the hard way and step back from what I knew. And that was hard. Because I'm like, but I'm not sweating. And my watch says that I only burned, 200 calories, but I didn't fully respect the afterburn of weightlifting. And with my nutrition, I used to eat so healthy. I mean, I still eat healthy, but like, I like, everything was organic, and I'd buy non-GMO, and I had the best bread, and I'd have like a turkey sandwich, with great bread and, non-nitrate meat, and everything was just healthy, and I had to learn that like, just eating healthy isn't going to get you lean. Just because those waffles are organic, and I had an apple and oatmeal and like all this food for breakfast, that was super healthy, but healthy doesn't equal lean. I had to learn that. And I also had to reprogram my brain around eating less is not the answer. Because that's what we're taught. You count calories, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and you eat less, you eat balanced. And then that's how you get weight loss. And it wasn't true. One of my biggest breaking moments and like things that changed my life was eating breakfast every single day, every day. And it was like eating more. And it's so funny because I see clients go through the same thing, and they're like, I'm not a breakfast girl. I just do my coffee. And, that's super typical. And I'm like, you're going to eat you're going to start eating. And then they're like, holy crap, I'm eating more and losing weight. I'm like, I had to learn this the hard way. You're welcome. I'm shaving off years of your journey, but, and mindset. No one teaches us the power of mindset and how important that is to have on your fitness journey. Like all of my certifications and training, like no one told me this. No one
Sure.
said, hey, make sure you're learning self-love and self-worth on this journey and not using your workouts as a punishment for what you ate and
Oh,
drank.
wow. That word punishment is so powerful because I feel like as any woman, I know I've used that as,
Yeah,
oh, you did bad yesterday. Now this is your punishment to wake up and do this now. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. And I started therapy. I started journaling. I started paying attention to how I spoke to myself in the mirror. And just that awareness, I was like, holy crap, I treat myself like the biggest POS in the whole world. I talk to myself in a way that I would never talk to a client
Sure.
or my children,
Sure.
or a friend, but I'm doing it to myself. And every time I'd look in the mirror and be like, God, you're fat. Like, you don't look good. Like what happened? I turn to the side and suck it in. And if only my body looked like this. And I didn't realize the connection between the mind and the body. And my body heard that.
Mm.
And my body was going,
Then
got
what's
it,
the point?
coach.
Yeah. What's the point?
What's the point? Got it. She said we're out of shape. She said this could never happen. Got it. And my body wouldn't change. I didn't realize the power between how I spoke to myself, how I love myself. That's what was going to get me to shred the fat and put on muscle.
Wow.
Who knew?
Right. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. So as a mom and being busy, you design this program, and what does that start looking like as far as, you're starting to get into, like time frame, and, you've got the kids that you have to look after and you've got all this stuff going on. So how did you kind of fine tune that timing that was needed?
Yeah. Well, and at the time, my husband traveled every other week, all the time. Like I could not rely on him and be like, oh, I'll just make this schedule and he can watch the kids when he gets home from work.
I
Like
can relate to that.
there was no downtime.
Yeah.
If he was there to help, it was like, yay, bonus, so it was like, it's all on you. It's all on me. And I started practicing first. And like, I literally have binders of like information and data and workouts and everything that I did. And then I took those binders and I created Bomb Mom.
Gotcha.
So, and then I started applying it to my clients, but I had to learn, and it sounds so simple. It's like stupid, but I had to learn that like, if I'm not on my calendar, I won't happen.
I have just recently learned that.
How basic is that,
But
right?
it's huge. It's huge.
It is. And now right now in Bomb Mom, we're doing a 90-day or a 90-mile challenge. Every December we do this. So we walk 3 miles a day. And by the end of the month, we hit 90 miles. It's super cool, but you got to do 3 miles a day.
Okay.
Every year we do this, I learned the lesson of Melissa, put your time that you're walking, your miles on your calendar. And every year I'm like, I didn't put it on. Crap. Now it's 9:00 at night and I didn't get my miles. And so even I learn, even I learn these lessons, but that was the biggest thing for me was like, where are you in on your day? Is it going to be morning today? Is it going to be after the kids go to bed? Is it when the other two are at school and the other one's napping? Are you going to set up a play mat in the living room and just do whatever you can right now?
Sure.
And I had to get myself on my own calendar. That was number one. And then the second biggest thing was like, when are you eating? Because making the kids food and then you eating their scraps or eating while you're making it, that's not a meal.
Guilty.
Yeah, we all do it. We all do it. That's what makes like, I fully understand like everything that people go through because I've gone through it or I'm going through it myself.
Sure.
No dude at the gym, a trainer is going to understand that.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like us moms, no.
Yeah. It's being a mom is a different beast. It really is. And, not even touching on the surface of the mom guilt and the, just all of the things of, me personally, I would feel selfish taking the time to do something for myself that I'm maybe taking away something from the kids as I'm doing that. And that goes back to what you're talking about, self-taught. we have to let that go and embrace, we're going to be a better mom for it if we can put in the time to ourselves. But getting to that point, and again, I still struggle with that. It's just a very difficult concept. It just really is.
Well, we're programmed. We are completely like programmed in the back of our mind that like, this is our role. This is our job. I watched my mom take care of all of us. That was like her identity. And my grandma did the same thing, and my mom put us first for everything. And I thought that's what made a good mom.
Sure.
That was it. And if I don't do that, then I'm not a good mom.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm blowing up at my kids. I don't like my body. It's affecting my relationship. I have no respite. I never recharge. And when I am recharging, I was doing it because I was like, I have to do this.
Sure.
Or like we said, it was a punishment.
Sure. Yeah.
And what a terrible relationship to have with your health and fitness and your workouts and your journey. You have
Definitely.
That's got to be loving.
That, and then continuing the cycle on, if you have girls, not to single out the boys, but as our own girls, our children, setting that example for them and what we're doing, what we're passing on to them for that.
Yep. Yeah. My girls hear me tell them no, or, hey, I'm getting up, I'm going to the gym, like all the time. Like that is the norm. Even on the weekends, like I always make them like pancakes every weekend. And I'm like, I'll make them when I get back.
Sure. They'll still be there.
You'll still be there. You'll still be sitting there watching TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who are we kidding? You know?
Right.
But I'm going to go do me first. So I'm better for you.
So important. So incredibly important. So what did it turn into? Because I don't know a lot about the program as far as the time that it takes. So what do we look at when somebody's new who starts the program? What time commitment are they looking at?
In the beginning, the first month, it's always a little bit more because
of course
we don't just take moms and like throw them in and we're like, welcome to the program. Let's go. Like that's scary, and that's why we would see people quit so fast because it's like, it's too much. I can't take this on right now. So when someone joins, I've learned, and it wasn't always like this when I first launched the program. This wasn't learned over screwing up women. No, I'm kidding. But they come into the program and the first month they're onboarding. So I tell people, we're going to build your car before you enter the race. So we don't even put them in the main program, which has really helped. So we surround them with the coaches, some mentors, and then they're just with all the other women who have no clue what's going on. I'm like, you guys are all a tribe. And we take it 4 weeks. We're going to learn. Yeah. We go slow with them and we meet every Monday. So that's why it takes a little bit more time commitment, because we're meeting every Monday for an hour. They have to fill out some worksheets, watch some videos, but we're teaching them. The week 1 is like all about your wine vision, like your foundation. Week 2, we start diving into nutrition and we just take it in baby steps. 3 is we start programming mindset. And then 4 is like training, workouts, exercises. And in the meantime, they do have their own onboarding workouts. They do start moving. And I tell them, this is your month to practice. You're just practicing.
I love
You're not, oh my God, I'm a bomb mom today. I got to do this right. Like, you're not going to change overnight. You have to practice to be her. And then once they complete that, we hook them up with a big sister. So I always say it's like nice to have someone to sit with at lunch, on the first day of school.
Yeah.
We put them with a big sister and then they go into the main group and they feel, okay, I know the verbiage. I know what you guys are talking about, like I've been introduced to this and now they're just surrounded by a tribe. So then your time,
what an amazing concept. That's really cool.
It's taken me a long time to figure this out and trial and error too. Women don't need just a workout program. Like we can Google whatever we want.
Sure.
You want a free workout? Go on YouTube. You can Google free 30-day workout to lose 30 pounds.
You'll find something.
You're going to find it.
Yeah.
We need motivation, which is a joke, but we do need it. We do need those moments of feeling good. We need to feel inspired. We need community.
Yes.
We need accountability.
Definitely, definitely accountability.
We tell our kids, you need to brush your teeth. You need to eat. Did you take a shower?
Sure.
Like, who's telling us?
Nobody.
Did you eat today? Did you show up? Did you do it? Like we need a fitness mama.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And women, we thrive in tribes. We don't do anything alone. We have pastors and church and teachers and assistants and coaches and bus drivers and neighbors, like even single moms. We still
Sure.
have people that help us.
Sure.
Why
Sure.
why do we think that we should take on our fitness journey alone? You know? It's the same thing. And when you surround women with other people on the same journey and you're talking the same and you're feeling the same and you're thinking the same and you're eating the same, oh my God, you just thrive together. And as women grow in the group and new people come in, it's so cool to see someone who was a newbie now be up here and they're
Oh,
like, I got to keep my act together, because people are watching me.
sure. And
I've
they
been
sort of now
here.
have a new purpose, right? A new because
Yes.
I think purpose is really big as well. Talk
Hmm.
talk a little bit about, because I know I struggle with this, right? You have your motivation, you're motivated, you want to feel good, but somewhere along the lines, the motivation kind of starts to go away. And
Oh yeah.
I've touched a little bit on having that discipline to replace that motivation, but just talk a little bit about how you get to that mindset, because at least for me, I struggle with that.
Yeah, the first thing you have to let it go. You have to let go of like, I have to have motivation to move forward. Like
Oh,
motivation comes and goes and it changes as often as like our underwear should
yeah,
be.
sure,
Like,
sure.
and the moment we rely on that and depend on that and then it's gone, we're
It's
like,
gonna let us down.
I can't do it. Or
Yeah,
we feel like we failed. Like I'm not motivated today, so I didn't go to the gym and now I failed. Another thing. Like,
sure.
mm-mm. So let it go. Let like I have to have motivation go. I need it in my life. You have to get used to doing it when it's not there. And we
That's
call
the
it in
discipline.
yeah. And it's not even discipline. It's just like this is the way it is. This is how I am going to show up and live my life, whether I feel like it or when I don't.
Okay.
It's non-negotiable. You have to figure out like what's non-negotiable in your life. And we call it in Bomb Mom the I don't feel like it rep. And so you'll see and hear women say all the time, like, I put in an I don't feel like it rep. And that means they went and did it and they did not feel like it at all.
Okay.
And how do you grow any type of muscle or discipline or mindset? One rep at a time.
One, yeah, one at a
That
time.
that muscle on your arm, that's never going to grow unless you rep it out, right?
Okay.
You are never going to become someone who shows up when it's 30 degrees outside and cold and raining if you don't have the practice and the reps doing it.
Sure. Sure.
And that's where your sisters come into play, because there's many women that they'll post or share and they'll be like, I don't feel like going right now at all. And in like 2 seconds, you'll have like 10 women go, we got you. Take a selfie when you get there. And they're like, okay, well, now you went like, great. Yay. You worked out, burned calories, all the stuff. But like, you just put in the most important rep ever of doing it, even when you don't feel like it,
Yeah.
even when you don't have that motivation.
Talk about getting out of your comfort zone. Like,
Right.
yeah,
And admitting, how hard is it to admit and be like, I
totally.
don't feel like doing this. That
Yeah.
I don't like to admit that. And everyone always thinks that I'm like so motivated to go and like, oh my God, no, I just went to the gym yesterday and I was like, I'm literally going through the motions right now, but
Wow.
this is what I do. This is how I show up even when I don't feel like it. And then today I went, had an amazing workout. I was excited to go. So you just learn to roll with the punches. And sometimes that word discipline can be a harsh word. Like sometimes I hear the word discipline and I'm like, yeah. And then other times I hear the word discipline, I'm like, it's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just like to think of it as like, what's my non-negotiables? What practice can I get in? I'm not being disciplined today. I'm just practicing. I'm practicing being the mom I want to become.
I love that.
Mhm.
I love that so much. That's amazing. So how with your program, are we talking an hour a day? Are we talking half? Like, what is it? Because I've got three moms or three kids. I'm homeschooling. I've got my husband. Like, busy. Who
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
busy as a mom? And I find, I try to keep up a routine. And I think that word for me, at least, routine. I don't like it because my days are all kind of all over the place anyway. So I need something that's going to fit into whatever may not be the routine. This is going to be a wacky day just because, this homeschool project's not done or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
just all over the place. And so how do you deal with that?
We call that shiveting.
Shivity.
Shift and pivot in one.
I love that, shivity.
That word was made up on accident because my brain goes faster than my mouth can keep up with. And
I
it
love
came
that.
out of like shift and pivot one day. And I'm like, we're going to shiv it. And I'm like, we're going to shiv it. We're going to stick to, I literally have shirts made now that say shiv it.
I love that so much. It's so cool.
And that's what we call, like, some days you have to shift and pivot. Nothing, don't ever think your schedule is written in stone. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be.
Right.
Because
Right.
I mean, just 2 days ago, my daughter was throwing up and I'm like, here comes the
Oh.
shivet. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a sick kid, everything changes. You're like,
Everything changes.
we're
Whatever
washing
your
stuff.
plans were,
Let it go.
forget it.
Let it go. Maybe you're going in the garage today and you're not going to the gym. Maybe you're working out over here, or like maybe you're just walking later, or maybe you're not doing anything at all today and you have to do a little bit more tomorrow or something. But you just have to be open to things shifting and pivoting. So in the program, that's why it's designed for busy moms. The only thing we have you like must show up for is your first month on a Monday. And then everything else you do at your own time. And everyone in the group and how we've designed it, it's not just California where I'm at. We have women all across the country and we're in different time zones. So it's cool because it doesn't matter if you're getting on at 9:00 at night or 2:00 in the afternoon, someone else is going to be on there and you're reading and getting support from someone the night before or that morning. Like, it's cool that we're all in different time zones and you just do everything in your own time. You even have the ability to like shift and move your calendar on your app I give you.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
you can move leg day to another day or move it. But 4 days a week, I'm like, get your strength training in. We have some women though that come into the program and they're like, I haven't worked out in a year. I'm 40 pounds overweight. I can't do any of this. And I'm like, then your goal is to do 1 strength training a week. And I want 4 walks in somewhere and just baby steps. And then eventually she's like, I'm ready. Now she's doing 2 workouts a week and 2 walks. And then she grows and we change. So nothing is ever set in stone. And then we have women that come into the group and they're like, super fit. And they're like, I want to put on muscle. I want to condition for this race coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We've had personal trainers in the group and their mindset has been a mess. They're like, I know how to work out, but my mindset's a mess. I need accountability with nutrition. So it's a way to just embrace everyone. And then you just shift and move things. I would say every day, plan at least an hour and a half for your workout.
Yeah.
If it takes you less, awesome. If it takes you more, okay, then you're learning,
Sure.
And then like 15 minutes a day, maybe get on the group page and just look. I go live in the group every day, just about every single day.
Wow.
You're going to see me in the car. You're going to see me in Costco. You're going to
That's
see me in the
quite a
kitchen.
commitment on your end as well. That's quite, yeah.
Well, that's real life.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
crying
invested.
on there. I'm happy. If I didn't show up as my authentic self and I was trying to show women, you can do it when it's messy. You can show up even if you're going through hell, but I don't show the hell.
Yeah, they might
They're
hate you
not
for
gonna
that.
believe me.
They
Yeah,
might hate you for that.
no one's ever going to believe me. And people are going to say, well, you don't know what it's like.
Right.
You don't get it. So when I'm going through tough stuff, like my whole divorce 4 years ago, I went through all of that and shared that. Because you know
Wow.
how many other women we have in the group that have gone through a
I'm
divorce
sure.
or
I'm
are
sure.
going through one, and I showed them you can go through hard stuff and still show up for you. And if they don't see the proof in that, no one's going to believe you.
Right.
No one's going to believe that that's even possible.
Right.
So I will literally be in my car going live and I'll just be like, I don't feel like going in here right now. And you want to know why? Because this happened. My refrigerator just broke down. All I want to do is go home and eat chocolate and drink wine tonight.
Can we please?
But here I am.
Yeah.
So that's why I say get on every day, like a couple minutes and just scroll, see what the message is. There's so many women that get on there and they're like, I wasn't going to do this today until I saw you go live. And then I did that and they put in a rep. And now over the last couple of years, we have members going live and they're sharing their day and their experiences, and they post, and it's not just me, it's everyone now. And man, when you can see your sister's hustling, it's like, I can do that too. If she can, and I know she's got 5 kids,
Right.
and
Right.
she showed up this morning, I know I can too. And then we believe it's possible.
Right. Well, and I think the biggest thing, at least one of the biggest things for me, it's if you can invoke emotion in me and I can relate to you, then I'm going to be putty in your hands because
Yeah,
I'm able to see myself or something in you that is me, and I want to be able to mimic that. Definitely.
exactly. Exactly. And I have to keep it real because we live in such a non-real world nowadays.
It's so terrible.
Everything is filtered. Before and after photos, I love them. They're great. We use them, but like all you see in the middle is one solid line.
Right.
And that solid line for a female,
That's the biggest part. And I say that on this show all the time. I'm not the before picture, but I am not even close to being the after picture
Mhm.
yet. I am still very much in the middle. And after I had my heart attack, I could lift when they put me into the cardiac rehab, I could lift 3 pounds, 3 pounds. Almost 2 years later, I can now do 18 pounds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, that
Ah,
increase was huge. And just to know that that's my middle part still, and I'm getting to that, hopefully to the after picture eventually, but to take away that middle part of what people are going through, especially women, that's just so like you were talking about the filters and everything is perfect and packaged, and I am not, and it is
mm-mm.
not. And
And then it makes us feel bad
it
because I'm like,
does.
oh,
It
I don't look
does.
like that Instagram influencer, and we
Here I
just
am when
see,
I celebrate my little 18 pounds that I can lift.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
couldn't
that
do that.
this middle messy part, like right now, the struggle, the failures, the setbacks, it's the most important part of the journey. That pressure, the hard times. And unfortunately, most people quit during these times. During the really hard, ugly time, they're like, throw it in the air, screw it, I'm out. Like, I just can't show up anymore. And I'm like, you're missing it. You're quitting before payday. You'd put in all that work and now you're not going to get paid.
Okay, and so talk about because to fail, we've always seen that as a negative. And I'm very, I've come close many times, just I'm not doing enough. And you talk about that self-talk again. And I just feels like I'm not going forward and I feel like I'm failing. How do you embrace that or get out of that mindset of just feeling like giving up?
Yeah. We always are embracing the failure. Like, I don't ask people their wins. Like, we're wrapping up November. We're in December now. So we're reevaluating November. Not everyone hit their goal. And everyone's just like, oh, just new goal for December. I'm like, no, 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 no. Why didn't you hit your goal? Not as a judging question, but like, did you fail in your goal? Okay. Why?
Mhm.
Use that as data to evaluate it, because then it's not a failure. Now it's, this happened and it's information that I can use to learn how to grow. And
Yeah.
having that mindset of like, this happened for me, not to me, is critical. It is so important, but it's in our blood to go into a poor me. Oh my
Sure.
God, this is
Sure.
happening to me. And but if you look at it and just, how did this happen for you? Just give me like 4 reasons why you think this might have happened for you. What lessons did you learn? And that's breaking down the failures and the hard times. Um, Anytime there's setbacks, we're always like, yes, what did you learn from it? What happened? It can be even something as simple as, we were late for this trip, that got canceled. We just had someone in the team, like they were supposed to go on this weekend with her husband and they couldn't now because of whatever. And I said, that might have saved your life.
Sure.
Like, what if you were going to get in a horrible car accident, but the universe was like, we're going to make your husband work so you can't go on this trip. And that's the only way we're going to get you to stay home to save you.
Wow.
And
It's
she's like,
all about perception.
oh my God. She's like, I was so upset until you said that. And she's like, now I'm not mad. I'm like,
That's awesome.
you never know. But
Yeah.
when you can use that as like little learning techniques, especially with like food, because that's a daily thing in nutrition. And women are always like, went through in and out. I totally failed today.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't just fail and just drive through in and out. Like, what happened before that?
Sure.
Well, we had practice and then my dentist and then here and there. And I'm like, okay, okay. So when was the last time you ate breakfast? Okay. So it
You're
wasn't
hungry.
yeah, you didn't fail and just
Yeah.
drive like, oh my God, how did we end up here? You got so
I'd love
hungry,
to use that, but that's not, that doesn't
right?
happen.
I don't know. I just fell into here. But you didn't plan. So you just failed to plan.
Right.
You didn't fail on life and your nutrition. You just failed at planning.
Sure.
Well, we can switch that. We can change how we plan things, right? So tomorrow, let's look at your day. What do you got lined up? Okay. Make sure if you're leaving the house for more than 3 hours, you always have a snack planned. If you're going to be gone longer than that, know what your next meal is. And many women don't.
No,
They go out and they're like, I don't know, I'm not hungry right now, so I'm not worried about it.
but
And
then
then
2 hours later,
you're
you're a
starving.
completely different person.
Yeah. Yeah. And they
You
have
might need
no
that
plan in
Snickers.
place. And it's okay if you're going to eat out, just
Yeah,
know where you're going to eat out.
sure.
Know what your plan is. What does that place have, for food that might help you make a better choice, but it's never just like, yeah, this happened and it totally sucked and I ended up here. It's like, no, back up. What led you to that place?
Right. Right.
What led you to binging in the pantry on marshmallows from the summer's campfire? Like, not that I've ever done that, but oh, Hershey's awesome.
Yeah. Right, right. That I love your energy and your perspective on all of it. So it is in this podcast, we have a lot of followers that are dealing with like chronic illness and things like that. And you were talking about the one woman in your program that just you had to do a slower start. So how, people that are dealing maybe with chronic pain or chronic illness or things like that, how would you encourage them or recommend them to just start some things? Where do they start?
One, physical, walking. I
No matter
can't
what.
tell you, oh my God, I can't tell you the power of a walk. But we downplay it. We're like, oh, it's just a walk though, like, and then we don't think it was powerful. And I'm like, if you set a goal and I'm going to walk 5 days a week, whatever, set an easy one. You are doing so many things. You're showing yourself that you can show up for you. You can create time. You can put in reps. You can do it when you don't feel like it. You know how to put yourself on a calendar. And then you physically can move your body for 3 miles or whatever. Like there's so many lessons that you're learning. It's not just, oh, I went out and I burned 200 calories. You have to look at it, all of the lessons that you're going to learn from walking 5 days a week. It's a ton.
Okay. Okay.
And if you're dealing with chronic illness or you haven't been moving a whole lot lately, or you have joint pain or back issues, it's a great place to start because that physical movement will help with joint lubrication. It will help with balancing your hormones. It'll help bringing down your blood sugar levels. And when that happens, it's amazing how much inflammation leaves the body and then results into you sleeping better and feeling better. And the body is just learning how to balance so that pain starts to go away. It's amazing. That's my number one best advice is like, just walk. And then once you've mastered, oh my God, I know if I go down here and here and here, that's 2 miles. I did it in this amount of time. Awesome. Maybe next week, try and beat that time, 10 seconds. That's it. And then when you get good, okay, go a little further now. Now let's hit another half mile and track your time. And journaling. Get a spiral bound notebook at like the 99-cent store, the one with the metal spirals, because it folds and it's easy and whatever. Write down everything you're doing on your journey. It's leaving breadcrumbs for yourself. Because the way life is going right now, we all know that a mess is coming in like 2 weeks, and you might get off track and you might need those notes to be like, okay, what was I doing 4 weeks ago? Because I had lost 5 pounds.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I have it all written down,
Okay.
and I don't know about you, but I've already forgotten my miles and how much time I did it yesterday. Like, I don't remember any of that. I don't even know what I had
And
for
that's
dinner last
interesting.
night.
I don't think I've ever written down, like I write down like the workout of the day that I want to do,
Yeah.
like if it's arms day or like I write that down, but I don't think I keep it. So that's interesting to
Mhm.
kind of go back and see it.
Yeah, that's why I say put it in a notebook. Don't just like write it on paper or whatever. And it helps log and like leave those breadcrumbs for yourself to find the way back. And then, you know, too, not only to find your way back if you get lost, but like you get to see what works. Like, what if you lose 10 pounds and you were consistent for 3 weeks? Holy crap. You now know that walking this amount of time, this many days,
It worked.
resulted in 10 pounds for you. That works for your body. It's not
Sure.
about what my body does. It's not about what P90X says that your body can do, or the girl on Instagram. It's what your body can do and how it responds. That's all that matters, you know? And it's so powerful, and journaling and writing everything down. And the mindset piece, that's the second biggest thing, is we get attached to identities with pain and our jobs and our labels. So like,
unpack that for me.
oh God, it's so powerful. This is tough love. We like to identify as someone who has lupus or fibromyalgia, or I have bad knees, or I have a bad back,
Sure.
or I've been overweight my whole life. And we wear that label right on our forehead. It's like in a magic marker that's like, if you put water on it, then it shows up.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
like we can't see it, but it's there. And then we hold on to this identity. And anything outside of that identity, we start going, well, it's not possible because I have this, or I suffer from this. And then we start losing sight of like, but it is possible to do it even though you have this. Getting rid of that identity. And we've had to work through moms with this in Bomb Mom. We've had women come in with chronic illness, chronic disease, and they'll be like, well, you know, my joints are inflamed today, so I can't do this. And I'm like, reword that. Just write it any other way. My whatever is acting up. Rewrite it. Today I'm shifting because I'm listening to my body. Those type of words.
Wow.
And just shifting how you're speaking about your body and stuff. It's incredible. We had this one woman who she had just, her back was a mess, literally looked like a Z. And she was very slumped. Doctors were like, you'll never be able to run. Like this is your body, you know, whatever. And she found me and she was like, I don't know what you can do with me, but I want to get strong and tone. She's like, but I have this and I have that. And I'm like, are you willing to let go of all those labels and identities? And she's like, well, it is what I have. And I'm like, yeah, but are you willing to be the strong mom?
Sure.
With subtitles of I have this and this.
Sure.
And this.
Or just let it go altogether.
Or just let it go. We transformed her body. She went from this woman like hunched over to the side, like with a Z spine that had extra 30 pounds on her, to a woman who was hunched over with a Z spine and strong and ripped.
Wow.
And we did like running. And she's like, I can't run. She's like, I was told I can never run. She had a little boy. She had 2 little kids. And he's like, Mom, let's go run down the driveway. And she told the story to us. And she's like, oh, honey, you know, Mommy can't run, you know, because of my whatever. And she stopped and she's like, I just not only reprogrammed that back into my mind. She's like, I heard you in my mind, Melissa. She's like, I just said it out loud. I gave myself that label. I just told myself I can't run. And she's like, why? Why can't I try? And she started running. And she's like, I now run a mile every day. And they told her, you'll never be able to run.
So powerful.
Just took that wall right down.
Wow. That's incredible.
She's like, I told it to my kid. I told my kid I can't do it. But we tell our kids, never say can't. You don't
Right.
ever say can't. You can do anything. And then we're like, I can't.
That's incredible.
So that mindset with coming in with a disease, illness, pain, you got to be very careful how you label yourself. And when you can be just willing to let stuff go. Oh, girl, you'll fly. You'll soar.
That's incredible. That is such great. That gives me chills, actually. That because it is, you know, and as someone, I mean, I've had a lot of issues. It's hard that doesn't become a part of you, and that doesn't sort of start to define you. And I've always said it doesn't define me, but just listening to you talk about how we speak about it and everything, and I'm starting to think maybe I do let it define me just in the way that I'm speaking about it. I don't mean to do that, but maybe there's some things there that maybe I'm holding myself back from that. I just, like you said, change the verbiage just a little bit and see. And I'm going to try that. I'm very excited to try that.
And what's super cool is like literally today, just by talking, doing this podcast for you and everyone else, you'll never be the same. because now you have awareness.
Yeah. That's a little nugget now that I'm going to take, and it's,
Mhm.
I'm holding on to that. That's
Oh,
incredible.
awareness is huge.
Yeah.
It's everything. And even if you're like, I'm aware I'm eating this chocolate, I know I shouldn't do it, and I'm going to do it anyways, it's still a step in the right
Yeah.
direction, because before you'd have been like, screw it, I'm eating it, I don't
Right. Who
care.
cares?
Don't
Right.
la 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 la, don't tell me I'm doing it wrong, cover your ears. Now you have awareness and you can own it. And then
Yeah.
you start going like, I'm not going to do that again. Like,
Right.
I know better.
Yeah, that gives me chills. That's incredible. And it certainly isn't something that I ever, I've always said I'm not a victim of these things that I struggle with. I would never want to be in that mindset. But like you said, even just that the verbiage of, well, I can't because of this, that's really huge.
Mhm.
That's a big deal. So thank you for making me aware of
You are
that.
welcome.
I appreciate that. So, okay, so tell us where everybody can find you if they want, if they're interested in the program. I know I'm completely interested in the program after listening to you. So, where can everybody go to do that and sign up? And me, I don't know. I think I saw on your website, they can schedule a call with you. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I do free like 10, 15-minute consultations all the time. I have it blocked out. You can go to melissavogelfitness.com. That has like everything. You can read about Bomb Mom. You can book a call with me. And a lot of stuff. If you're just like, I just need to know where to find you on social media. On Instagram, it's like ITS Melissa Vogel. And you can find me on there too. And DM me, send me emails. Like we get people
That's
all
awesome.
the
And
time.
I will
Yeah.
put all of that in the show notes. And then you said you're in the middle of a challenge right now. So that'll go until January, and then you'll start a new one, or do you take time
Yeah.
off? You just
every
keep
month
going.
every month we run a 30-day challenge. So the December one, where we're currently at right now, is going, but we'll start a new one in January. um and everyone tells us like, don't do one in December, you shouldn't do one, and I'm like, there are moms that want help through December because we need some.
Sure. Yeah,
and
this, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
and I'm like, I'm not going to listen to you guys. You don't know. So yeah, every month you can
Even if you
catch one.
had two, and I'm sure you have more, but even if you just had two people show up in the month of December, that's
I
worth
know.
it because those two people needed it for that month. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
And it's
think it's sad to use the holidays or Christmas as an excuse not to do it. Like that,
right
things are happening all year long. That's
all
not
the
a
time.
reason not to do it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And the challenge is great because it's a good way to just get your feet wet. Like it's like a mini bomb mom. And everyone who joins the challenge is like, oh my God, these results were great. Like, I like seeing you in the group and going live and doing the workouts. How do I want to do? How do I get into be a bomb mom now? Like, everyone's
Yeah.
always saying that. But like, if anyone's on the fence, I'm always like, just do a challenge, get your
And
feet
they
wet.
don't have to be local. This is
No,
across. That's
anywhere.
awesome.
You can live anywhere. Yeah.
That's so
Mhm.
amazing. Well, I have so enjoyed you today. This has been absolutely fantastic. I appreciate everything that you've shared and talked about. I'm like, my little hamster wheels are spinning on like processing all of the information that we talked about. Anything that you'd like to wrap up with or like to get out there?
Oh, I just love ending with the message of like, it is possible. It is possible to create change no matter who you are, no matter what your body looks like, no matter what you've gone through. It is possible. And it all starts with the mind. Everyone thinks it starts with the body's capability. You're dead wrong. It starts with the mind. So just know it is possible, and you can
That's
move forward. You can
self-love.
make change.
That's self-talk.
Self-love.
Yep. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. This has been an absolute treat for me. I'm just so appreciative of you coming on, and maybe we'll talk again. I'd love to have you back.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.